Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson this morning, and I'm having my good friend, Brother Miguda. Miguda, habari gani?
Niko salama kakangu,
Mm.
niko vyema, niko mzima mzima, labda
Mm.
za kwako.
Mi sina neno, ni Jumapili asubuhi. Unajua leo pia kuna watu ambao wanaenda kanisa lakini sisi tumeamua kukaa hapa, hatuendi.
Ni Jumapili, kuna wale waamini ambao wanaamini kuwa Jumapili ni siku yao ya saba ama siku yao ya maombi.
Mhm.
Vilevile kuna wale pia wanaamini siku tofauti. Sasa kwa wale
Mm.
ambao wanaamini leo ni nafasi nzuri wao kwenda, na pia
Mhm.
wanapoenda kanisani watukumbuke kwa maombi,
Yeah.
watuombee na
Mm.
vilevile pia sisi tutawaombea hiyo siku yetu. But ni kitu kizuri kama watu wanamcha Mungu katika
Mm.
nchi hiyo, tunawaunga mkono.
Okay, asante sana. Unajua nilikuwa na mazungumzo tu na rafiki yangu. Alafu hiyo harakati ya sisi kuzungumza, sasa tulikuwa tunazungumza hali tu ya maisha. Unajua kuna ah, zile vitu ambapo labda sisi tunapitia kama binadamu, changamoto naweza sema hivyo. Akaniambia ati saa zingine ukiwa na mtonyo mzuri, unaweza pata kwamba kuna changamoto ambayo labda unaweza tatua. Na nikamuuliza mtonyo ni nini? Akanielezea, lakini sasa wewe unajua mtonyo ni nini?
Mtonyo, kama alikuambia ukiwa na mtonyo mzuri
Mm.
unaweza toa shida yoyote, hapo
Mm.
ningependa kusema kitu ambayo inaweza tatua shida yoyote si ni hela. Sasa kama mtonyo inaweza kuwa tu niseme ni chapa, juu hiyo
Eh,
ndio kitu kimoja ambayo inaweza tatua kila shida. Sijaona kuna kitu, kama kuna kitu ambayo inaweza tatua kila shida ni
eh,
tu chapa.
asante. Unajua kuna pia saa zingine nasikiza zile wimbo za kitambo sana. Kuna mmoja aliimba kwamba pesa ni sabuni ya roho. We kwako unaweza sema nini ukisikia mtu akiimba kwamba pesa ni sabuni ya roho?
Hapo huyo mtu pahali yako apatiwe sifa zake ama apatiwe flowers zake pahali yako, juu alisema jambo ya ukweli kabisa.
Eh,
Unapata
eh,
pesa nayo ni sabuni ya roho. Siwezi sema alidanganya, juu unapata
ah,
kama kwa mfano
eh,
ulienda kuomba mtu kazi ama ulienda kutafuta kazi kwa mtu fulani, ama unataka mtu fulani akusaidia kutatua shida fulani.
eh,
Ukifika kwake,
mhm,
kuna wenye kwanza wanakukaribisha vizuri,
mm,
wanakupatia chakula,
mhm,
alafu ukishawaeleza watakujibu vile wanafaa kujibu, lakini ukitoka
eh,
watakupatia hela ya kwamba chukua hii kama nauli.
mm,
Unajua, anapokupatia hela
mm,
utasahau ya kwamba ulikuwa na shida. Juu wacha
eh,
nikwambie mfano.
ah,
Rais wetu William Ruto ni yule rais mjanja sana.
mm,
Wakati anataka kitu kwako,
mm,
anakufanyia kitu inaitwa musho moja. Kwa mfano,
mm,
wakati tulikuwa tunafanya uchaguzi mwaka uliopita, alienda huko katika eneo za mlima,
eh,
akawaangalisha vizuri, akawaahidi vitu vizuri, na
mm,
baadaye akawapatia pesa. Sasa hiyo ndio musho moja, anakuosha na umu ya mwisho ni pesa. Sasa
eh,
unaingia box,
eh,
unampatia kura.
mhm,
Ukishampatia kura,
mhm,
ni yeye alishamalizana na wewe.
ana
Saizi
deni labda.
hana deni na wewe. Saizi ako eneo za Nyanza,
Mm,
anawapatia hizo, umeona, vitu kama maendeleo, kwa
mm,
mfano hizo uwanja,
mm,
barabara,
mm,
anawapatia wengine kazi wako katika wizara,
mhm,
na mwishowe anatembea na ile mchango ya wamama,
mm,
inua mama,
eh,
alafu ye mwenyewe atakuja amalizane na ile yake ya mwisho moja,
eh,
awapatie hela.
eh,
Mkishampatia kura, Sasa hii ashamalizana na wewe. Sasa hiyo mimi naweza sema tu wale wajanja katika siasa. Siasa ni ya wajanja. Kama wewe si mjanja usiingie siasa. Utakuja ulie baadaye. Alafu napata wakati unapatia mtu hela, hata kama hujampatia kazi kwa mfano, hata kama hujamwajiri, hata kama hujamfanyia kila kitu alikuwa anataka, lakini ile hela inakaa tu kama kitu ambayo inamzuia macho ili azidi kuomba wewe kitu ingine. Sasa nasema tu pesa sabuni na isitoshe, kando na siasa ama kando na kazi, unapata kwa mfano wakati hata mtu anapokuwa na stress, lakini ukimpatia chapaa huenda anapona haraka. Ama wakati mtu hata yule mwenye ako na hela katika jamii anapatiwa heshima yake, lakini yule mwenye hana hela apatiwe heshima. Sasa huyo jamaa alisema pesa ni sabuni ya roho. Ni kweli, ndipo sasa kila mtu anafaa tu atafute pesa ili watu hata mtu ako na hela maneno yake ni machache, na pia ni msee yule mwenye hata ana mashida mingi. Sasa huyo jamaa hizo vitu zako, hizo maneno zako mawili, inasema hao jamaa hawajakosea, wako tu sawa.
Okay, asante. Unajua umezungumzia jambo mzuri sana. Jambo lingine ambalo mimi nataka tu kugusia kabla tujaenda kuongelea mada ya asubuhi ya leo. Umeleta upande wa jamii. Na hii inanikumbusha kuna video ambayo labda ilikuwa inatembea pale kwa mtandao, ni kwamba huyu kijana ambaye anataka kuwania ubunge, sijui ni Kibera ama sijui wapi, anaitwa Madola. Sijui kama unamfahamu.
Madola Mapesa.
Sijui unamfahamu.
Namfahamu vizuri sana Madola Mapesa.
Ni mtu ambaye kwa saizi ukiangalia umri wake na pali ambapo tuseme kwamba ni mtu ambaye naweza sema kwamba amebarikiwa kwa sababu ako na hela mingi, kama hiyo naweza sema kwamba ni baraka. Lakini kuna siku ambayo walikuwa kwa mazishi, sijui ni ya nani, lakini kilikuwa ni tu kijana tu, kama sijui rafiki yake ama kilikuwa ni ndugu yake, ama sijui kama ni ndugu, lakini ilikuwa kwa mazishi. Lakini tukio kilitokea na kuna venye aliongea kwa sijui ni baba ama ni babu, na wakati wa mazishi ya huyo kijana, lakini kwa sababu aliongea aliongea na huyo ama hakumwonyesha heshima katika kuongea kwake, labda walikuwa wamepishana kimawazo. Lakini ulikuwa unapata kwamba jamii, wakati alikuwa anaongea, jamii walikuwa wametulia. Hakuna mtu mwenye angekuja hata akamwambia kwamba bwana wewe fanya vizuri. Kuna tu marafiki zake ambao walimwambia ni mbaya. Lakini unapata jamii ilikuwa imetulia. Na hiyo ndio sasa nakuleta pesa. Unapata kwamba wale ambao labda wako na pesa mingi katika jamii, unapata kwamba labda kuwakosoa ama kuwaletea pingamizi inakuwa ni ngumu sana. Unapata kwamba kauli ambao wanachukua, hata kama ni kauli mbaya, unapata kwamba asilimia kubwa ya jamii watakuwa wanakubaliana na yeye. Unadhani ni kwa nini? Unadhani ni kwa nini? Ni uoga ama ni nini ambao wako nayo? Ambapo unapata kwamba hata kama amekosea, unapata kwamba jamii hawatoi rekebisho, ama unapata kwamba jamii wawezi ongea, wataenda tu na kauli hiyo hiyo.
Hapo nakubaliana na wewe. Katika jamii unapata yule ambaye ni mkwasi anapatia heshima zake, na hata wakati anapoamua kufanya uamuzi anafanya uamuzi, hata kama uamuzi kinakeuka zile sheria za jamii ama uamuzi ni ya mwendo mbaya, idadi kubwa ya jamii huwa wanafuata hiyo uamuzi bila upingamizi. Hapo nakubaliana na wewe. Unapata kuna shida, si sema ati ni uoga, nasema tu ni umaskini katika jamii na hali ya maisha. Unapata watu wengi, idadi kubwa ni watu umaskini na watu wenye hawana hela. Sasa kuna wakati ambao yule mkwasi anafanya maamuzi, unapata kuna wale watu wake ambao tunaita katika lugha ya kimombo agents, ambao aliwapatia hela, na wale wanapoenda katika mjini, wanapotembea hapa na pale, wanapatia watu kile kitu kidogo. Sasa unajua, unasema ya kwamba ili ni kama nimempinga, na huenda nikakosa kitu kidogo, ama huenda nikakosa kukuwa na marafiki zake, ama kuenda kufika katika makao yake. Unapata wakati wengi katika makao yake kuna mlo, huwa wanaandanga mlo, na watu wa jamii wanaenda huko kukula. Sasa wakati unapoenda huko, pengine unasema ati nikimpinga ama nikikeuka Kenya anasema, huenda nikakosa mlo wakati napokuja akatoka mjini, atakosa mlo, alafu vile vile pia ile kitu kidogo nitakosa. Na wewe umezungumzia jamii na ni mfano mzuri, lakini hata ukiangalia katika siasa zetu, unapata wale na pesa katika eneo zetu wako na wafuasi wengi, na hata kama wanamechukua mwendo kibaya, au wao wanawafuata, na ukijaribu kumpinga, sasa unajua wakati unampinga, utaambiwa ya kwamba vitu zote hauna akili, ama utaambiwa wewe ni mtu aina gani. Lakini ukimunga mkono, sasa uko na akili, unakuwa na akili. Anasema hiyo kitu iko katika jamii, lakini pia imeenea katika siasa zetu, ama katika kitaifa yetu, ya kwamba katika taifa letu hiyo kitu imeenea, na pia watu wetu wanafuata hiyo mwendo.
Okay, asante sana. Naona wacha nichukue nafasi hii kusalimia ndugu yetu Laban na kwa kuwa na sisi asubuhi ya leo, na ameitisha tovuti ama tunaita aje?
Laban ameitisha, lakini naona pia rafiki yetu Joseph pia anahitaji pia anahitaji hapo katika WhatsApp.
Okay. Wacha. Leo sikufanya vyema. Hebu wacha leo. Okay, sawa. Na wacha nifanye Joseph, sorry. Wacha ningoje Laban akuja ingie atuambie, na pia sijui kwa nini sikuweka katika ile pali ambayo tunakuwa na mazungumzo rasmi. Hiyo nimeomba radhi, ndamuomba radhi ndugu yangu. Okay, sawa Miguda. Unapata kwamba wale ambao wako na mtonyo mkubwa katika jamii, ama wale ambao Mungu amewabariki sana sana, wanakuwa na msemo mkubwa katika jamii sana. Na unapata kwamba hata kama uko na wazo mzuri lakini hauna pesa, itakuwa ni vigumu sana kwa wewe kuzungumza. Ndugu yangu Simba, habari ya asubuhi.
Salama sana brother Ben. Nikuda nafikiria umeamka vizuri.
Tumeamka vizuri, na tujaingia kwa mada ya leo. Tulikuwa tunaangalia tu katika jamii ama katika familia ambao sisi tunaishi. Unapata kwamba wale ambao wamebarikiwa kifedha, ama wale ambao wako na mali, unapata kwamba wako na ushawishi mkubwa sana, ambapo saa zingine wanaweza kuwa wanachukua kauli ambayo unapata kwamba si ambao watu wengi wanapenda, na kwa sababu wale ambao labda wako nao katika mkutano hiyo, unapata kwamba kifedha hawako vizuri sana, alafu unapata kwamba wanasema tu wanakubaliana kwenda na mkondo huo wake. Unadhani tunaweza rekebisha aje haya maneno, ambapo labda tukue si kwamba tunachukua uamuzi kulingana na fedha ama mtonyo wa mtu katika jamii?
Kwanza kabisa vile unasema ni ukweli, kwa sababu the whole system of governance I think iko structured around the institutions where resources zinafikiria zinatoka. Ndio sababu unaona watu wanaenda Ikulu, kwa sababu wanajua hapo ndio kikapu cha taifa kipo. Unapata kwamba hata nchi inaangalia kama World Bank, Bank of Africa, IMF, kwa sababu wanajua hapo ndio watapata usaidizi. Sasa tukija chini katika kama familia ni hivyo hivyo, na haswa kabisa hiyo ndio ilikuwa msingi kabisa ya uongozi, kwa sababu hata kama wewe ulikuwa ni mtu ambaye ni fukara, hauna kitu, haungeweza kutambuliwa ama kupewa zile responsibilities za familia. I hope hapo ndio around mahali ambapo mambo mengi yamewekwa hivyo.
Okay. Alright. Asante sana kakangu. Ni vizuri kusema kwa sababu tunaishi katika mazingira kama hayo, na umepatiana mfano mzuri kwamba watu wanaangalia Ikulu kama pahali ambapo labda tuseme kwamba ndio usaidizi labda inaweza toka, kama tuseme kama maendeleo ni sehemu sahihi. Hiyo tutajadili hayo, tunangoja Joseph pia akuje. Lakini leo tunataka tuangazie siasa kidogo ambazo zilikuwa zimetokea jana. Na naanza na wewe ndugu yangu Simba. Jana Mheshimiwa Oscar Sudi alikuwa anapatiana heshima za mwisho kwa mtu ambaye labda kuangalia ni mtu ambaye labda alikuwa na yeye karibu sana, na pale ikawa mambo ya kanisa na kwa yule padri naweza sema ama askofu ambao labda alikuwa anaendesha labda kikao siku ya jana, labda alikuwa na kuharakisha mbunge ama hafla ilikuwa anataka iishe haraka, lakini labda mbunge hakulichukulia kama jambo mzuri. Akamwambia kuna padri wengi, wewe kama unaona muda inayoyoma unaweza enda. Na watu wameichukulia, kuna wale ambao wameichukulia kwa njia mzuri na pia kuna wale ambao wameichukua kwa njia mbaya. Labda kwamba wanasema kwamba mheshimiwa amekosa heshima kwa watumishi wa Mungu, na vile vile pia wengine wanasema kwamba hawa watumishi wa Mungu wanajua hawa ni wanasiasa na mbona asiwawache wafanye kazi ambao wao wanafanya. Kwako wewe vipi?
Mara mbili. Kwanza
ile
ilikuwa ni hafla ya familia na familia iko na uwezo wa kutoa uamuzi wowote ule, kwa sababu hata hiyo issue niliona ikiongelewa sana kwa kina Kimani Ichung'wah kwamba protocols zilikuwa breached, na nikawaambia kwa hii platform kwamba funeral ni private function. Watu wasiingishe siasa sana kwa funerals. Ikikuja kwamba ni mazishi and especially mtu wa familia ndio huwa inakuanga na last say. Hiyo ndio vile ninaweza sema.
Okay. Alright. Asante sana. Sasa ukiangalia kwa labda tuseme kwamba ukiangalia katika Ukristo ama tuseme kwamba udini ama uaskofu, kwa sababu najua hawa ndio wale ambao labda wanakuweka katika mkono salama ya Bwana, ukuje ukutane na malaika wazuri, lakini sasa unapata kwamba anakuambia bana, wewe hapa sasa nao umekosea, kama unaona muda inayoyoma utoke uende, na huu sasa ni mtumishi wa Bwana. Na inaweza kuwa ni vizuri ama pia inaweza kuwa tu ni siasa tu ya kawaida.
Brother Ben,
Yes.
wakati mtu anapewa nyadhifa, huyo mtu hakutoka mbinguni, huyo mtu amezaliwa hapa duniani. Hawa viongozi wote ni watu ambao tunawajua kwa mienendo, rangi, matamshi na kabila zao. Wengine wamekuwa ni wahalifu sugu ambao wamereform. So Ben, mimi nitakwambia kwamba mimi title peke yake sio issue muhimu sana kwangu. Itategemea na kitu ulikuwa unafanya saa hizo. Hiyo ni msimamo wangu mimi binafsi.
Okay, asante sana kakangu kwa maoni yako, tunashukuru. We Miguda, labda vipi, labda we unaweza kuwa na maono tofauti kulingana hafla ilikuwa ni ya kupatiana heshima ambaye mtu labda kwa maoni yangu kuitazama alikuwa ni mtu wa karibu sana na mheshimiwa. Na pia ule askofu pia alikuwa kwa utaratibu wake ambao labda kanisa inataka afuate sana sana wakati unapatiana mtu heshima zake za mwisho. Na mheshimiwa pia alikuwa na cha kusema pia kwa sababu yeye pia ni huyu mtu nimekuambia hapo awali kwamba ni mtu ambaye labda alikuwa karibu na yeye. Wewe kwako unaweza iangalia vipi?
Kwangu ningeweza kuitazama kwanza, unapata wale ambao waliofiwa kama hiyo familia kina Oscar Sudi, hiyo nasema ilikuwa mazishi yao kama familia, na vile vile unapata ya kwamba wao ndio walipanga mipango mingi sana, na kanisa iko na nafasi tu moja ya kuja na kuhakikisha kwamba wameomba na kuhakikisha kwamba wamemzika. Lakini mfano kama mchango ni familia inafanyanga mchango ama kuangalia mwenda zake, miili, kila kitu ni familia ndio inafanya. Unapata wakati wa mazishi katika Afrika, sisi kama Waafrika, hiyo wakati watu tunakutananga kama familia. Kuna wanapata wengine wametoka eneo tofauti tofauti, wengine walikuwa mbali, wengine walikuwa ng'ambo. Sasa wamekuja wamejumuika na sisi. Sasa unapata hii wakati ni wakati mzuri ya kutumia kuzungumza na watu wenu, na pia wakati mzuri ya kutumia maybe kuwapasha watu jambo fulani ama jambo geni. Na pia ni kama sisi kama Afrika, mambo ya mazishi ni kama celebration. Tunasherekea yule mwenda zake. Unapata mtu akizaliwa tunasherekea, mtu akioa tunasherekea, mtu akifanya initiation tunasherekea. Kwa mfano mtu akienda circumcision tunasherekea vitu kama hizo, akioa tunasherekea, na sherehe ya mwisho kabisa katika hata mtu anapozaa watoto tunasherekea. Na sherehe ya mwisho katika Afrika sisi tunajua kama mtu kama kuna mazishi, mtu akiaga dunia, sisi ni kama sherehe, tunasherekea kwamba sherehe zake za mwisho katika dunia ndio tutamuona tena. Sasa unapata familia wako na ratiba yao, na familia pia wako na vile walipanga hiyo mazishi vile inafaa kuwa. Sasa wakati kama wale watu wa kidini ama wale maskofu wameitwa tu katika familia na wanafaa waelewe. Kwa mfano kama watu walikuwa wanazungumza wengi, wangefaa kwanza matanga mapema, kwanza hata mwendo wa saa 2 kama walikuwa na haraka. Na kama yule askofu ako na saa zake ambazo anafaa, juu nasema kama ni mambo ya mazishi na amekuja kukaa na familia, na kama yeye ako na haraka sana, angefaa ku delegate hiyo inafanyika. Na kama alikuwa hiyo siku alikuwa na mazishi moja ama mawili, unaweza patia mtu mwingine mmoja ukae hapa. Sasa mimi nasema, ningependa kusema hivi, kama mambo ya utaratibu, unapata katika jeshi kuna ile utaratibu ya kwa miili inafaa izikwe saa 10 kamili, miili inafaa izikwe inafaa kupita saa 10. Hata rais nipaswa pata Jomo Daniel Arap Moi, Mwai Kibaki wanazikwa kabla ya saa 10. Hiyo ni utaratibu ya jeshi. Wao ndio wale commander in chief of the armed forces. Pata kila mwanajeshi hata rais katika sheria zetu utaratibu wanazikwa, ndipo sasa unapata wanaharakishanga ya kwamba anzeni mapema juu saa 10 tunafaa kuzika mwili. Sasa unapata wakati kama hii ya kina Oscar Sudi, sema tu unaelewa pia Sudi ni mwanasiasa na Sudi ni wafuasi. Hapo lazima wangeelewa. Na wakati ni mwanasiasa kuna wafuasi, kuna wale wafuasi, unaweza kuwa wewe si mfuasi wa Sudi, lakini kuna wale watu muamini, wale waliomchagua ambao wanamtegemea kama kiongozi wao, wampatie heshima zake. Iwapo atakapojampatia heshima zake, kuna wale watu ambao wanamwamini, amewasaidia na anawapatia heshima zake. Sasa hao watu walikuwa wanategemea kwamba leo kiongozi anataka kusema nini. Leo kiongozi anasema marafiki wangapi? Kwa mfano, akona marafiki wake katika Kenya, katika bunge la kitaifa walikuja kumwomboleza. Sasa wakati anapokuwa na marafiki zake na yeye na wale familia yake walikuja pale wote, sasa anataka awaonyeshe kwamba niko na marafiki tofauti tofauti. Sasa hiyo wakati ningeomba hivi, unaweza mpatia heshima zake kama kiongozi na wafuasi wake, wazungumuze wanapotaka kuzungumuza, lakini kuwapatia masharti kwa mazishi yao, hiyo mi naona kama ni vile kanisa ilikosea kidogo, lakini baadaye unapata Sudi alikuja akaomba msamaha na pia walijaribu kuongea. Sasa ningependa kusema tu hivi, jambo la mwisho, wakati unapoitwa kama askofu ama padri kuja kusaidia familia kuzika mwenda zake, unafaa mkubaliane kwa ratiba. Kuna wengine si wanasiasa, kuna wengine ni wanasiasa. Vile nimekuambia, kama ni utaratibu ya jeshi, kama ni mwanajeshi, hiyo saa 10 atakuwa amezikwa, hata kama wanasiasa wako ama wako. Lakini huyu hakuwa mwanajeshi, na vile vile huyu alikuwa familia ya mwanasiasa, na mwanasiasa kwa marafiki zake. Sasa nadhani tunafaa tu kukubaliana kati ya familia na kanisa ya kwamba mwenda zake ako na marafiki, mwenda zake ni mwanasiasa, mwenda zake anafanya kazi fulani. Sasa hapo nadhani kuna vile kanisa ililegea kidogo. Juu wacha nikwambie kitu moja, brother Benson, si ati kila wakati kanisa wako right. Kuna pia kanisa juu wao ni wacha Mungu, na pia wao ni wanaombea watu. Sasa hata kama wamelegea kidogo, watu huenda kusema ya kwamba kanisa wako tu sawa kila saa. Hapana, kuna wakati pia kanisa wanakoseanga watu. Unapata kama kwa mfano, huwezi kataza mtu na marafiki zake kuzungumuza na wafuasi wao pia wako hapo, na pia unapata kwamba hao wafuasi walikuwa katika hiyo matanga wote si washiriki wa hiyo kanisa. Unapata kuna watu washiriki katika tofauti. Sasa mimi ningeomba tu lazima tukuwe na maelewano kati ya familia na kanisa kabla ya mazishi.
Okay, thank you so much Mr. Migoda, and thank you so much for our good friend Simba anatembea. Mimi labda
Joseph kama ameingia.
Ameingia. Na nimemweka. Hebu sasa wacha ni arrange this. Joseph, nimekuweka. Pole sana kakangu.
Nilikuwa nimeshinda hapa nikiteta, kwa nini uniweke bwana? Unajua nimeona Laban nikasema nikuje nisalimie Laban.
Tukasema ni kwamba tunavurutana.
Lazima ningekuja kusalimia Laban kidogo. Laban anapenda kunitisha sana kule kwa comment section.
Okay, thank you so much. And maybe to just comment, and before now we go into the main discussion is about mimi kwa Kiswahili naweza sema kwamba kila kiongozi vile tunaweza sema kwamba kanisa walikosea, na vile pia tunaweza sema kwamba mheshimiwa pia alikosea kidogo. Na kwa uzuri umesema kwamba walipata nafasi wa kuombeana radhi ama wa kuombeana msamaha. Hiyo ni kitu kizuri, kwa sababu nikiangalia upande wa mheshimiwa ni mtu labda alikuwa karibu sana na mtu ambaye alikuwa amefiwa, ama ule mwenye alikufa, yani si mtu alikuwa amefiwa. Na leo ndilikuwa ile tuseme kwamba wakati ambapo labda anaweza sema uhusiano yao na pale vitu ambao wamepitia unakuwa na majonzi. Na vile makasisi pia, hii ndio siku yao pia, wako na ile ya kubariki mwili, Mungu aipokee. Sasa unajua, labda huwezi jua kama kasisi angekuwa anasema kwamba wakati wa kuingia mbinguni ilikuwa inapita, na huyo alikuwa mcha Mungu Migoda. Sasa si hiyo lazima sasa pia uangalie. So wote wako sahihi, vile wote ni kama wamekosea. So jambo wangefanya la kwanza ni kwamba wangekubaliana kwa ratiba kabla hawajakuja katika yani ndio wakuwe na utofauti kama hayo. Unajua, umezungumzia mambo ya Sudi kuwa ni mwanasiasa. Sasa unajua wale wapinzani wake hao ndio watachukua, wataiangalia kwa namna nyingine. Unaona, watamwangalia kama mtu ambaye amekosa nidhamu kwa makasisi na kanisa, na wataangalia upande ile. So labda mimi ndio hayo nataka kusema. Ama Joseph, kuna jambo moja tu labda unaweza sema? Unmute.
Asante, nimeona hiyo clip lakini najua sikuelewa kulikuwa kunaenda aje. Nimeona Sudi ya kinini, sijui alikuwa rafiki kwa familia ambayo waliaga mtu ama kulikuwa aje? Sikuweza kuelewa vizuri. Mimi nilipata tu akiongelesha kasisi, sijaona hiyo
Hakuwa
video.
rafiki, hakuwa rafiki. Huyo mwenda zake ni kama alikuwa familia yao.
Yeah.
Oh, ni familia yao.
Familia yao ni kama
basi
dada yake mwenye aliolewa pali pengine.
I think basi Sudi alikuwa na right ya kuongea bwana. Hizi hata kama ni siasa bwana, angepatio fursa ya kuongea. Kama ni familia, lazima apewe nafasi ya kuongea. Kama kasisi alifanya hivyo, basi alifanya makosa. Juu mimi nilidhania ni siasa ilikuwa imeenda pale, unaona.
No.
So kama ingekuwa ni siasa ningesema hapana, lakini kama ni mwenda zake na ni familia, kwa nini asipewe nafasi? Then familia inafaa itoe ratiba. Ingekuwa na ratiba ya vile watu wangeongea, lakini unajua sasa Sudi is a non politician, so you cannot deny him a chance to speak in a certain funeral of his family members. It is very uncool. It is not right, by the way, even if it is siasa. Si vizuri hata kidogo. Hiyo si vizuri juu hiyo ndio mara ya mwisho ya Sudi na mwenda zake yeye kutoa kile ambacho angetaka kuambia mwenda zake, so it's not right. You cannot sit away, even if it is politics.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Joseph, for that, and thank you, Bigoda, and also Laban Misiani for joining. Now, yesterday was a very, very active day, and it was full of politics, and the politicians were doing what they do best. Yesterday, the president was in Machakos, and the United Opposition was in Machakos. The empowerment team was in Kapenguria doing their empowerment. And all of those events, politics took center stage. We cannot say that there was no politics, but something that really caught our attention that we want to look at it in a deep lens is about what actually the president said about Kalanzo Musyoka. And I will say that the president, I quote, president says that that Kalanzo Musyoka is misleading the Ukambani residents. And this is informed from how the president was talking, that people should come and work together. And he talked about the development, that maybe the reason why the development is not going to Ukambani is because the Kalanzo Musyoka is not working with the president. And he said that if you look at what is happening in Migori, Homa Bay, Siaya, I talked about Migori, Homa Bay, Siaya, and he said that from what I understood, that there are markets that are being constructed there. That is because they've come in, they've joined the government. That's why, and the reason why there's little that is taking place here. So he was saying that from my own understanding is that the reason why we have like a lot of projects, especially concerning the construction of markets taking place in those regions that he mentioned, is because they're working together. And we want to look at in terms of constitution. What does constitution say, especially when it comes to sharing of resources? What does constitution say about the presidency? Does it mean that the presidency, when you have to give development, do you give it just because those are the people who are supporting you? And remember, you're president for everyone. So that is where we want to look at our conversation. And our conversation also will go down and look about the rebuttal of Kalanzo Musyoka, whereby Kalanzo Musyoka has said that there is messengers that is being sent to him through the clergy to talk to him so that he can join the government. So those are the points of the conversation that we will have. And also we will check on what was happening in Kapenguria, where the members who are in Kapenguria, they were saying that, talking about the looks of Rigathi Gachagua, going ahead and say, I quote, Surambaya. And how does that one? if somebody has to run, do we have to consider the looks, especially when we are electing our leaders? So those three areas are the ones that we will be talking about. Then maybe again Monday morning, we will be here to discuss about what has transpired, like today, Sunday. So let me start with you, Simba Natembea. What would be your take, especially of what the president uh, said about Kalonzo Musyoka when he was in Machakos?
Brother Ben, kwanza
Yes.
kabisa mimi nitaanzia Malawi ndio
Yeah.
nikuja nyumbani kwa
Asante
sababu
sana.
we are being misled. What's
Actually,
happening in
I
Malawi,
wrote it down.
that thank you. Mimi nataka niwaambie kwamba Malawi mahali iko, sisi tumetoka huko. Inflation ya Malawi as for now stands at 20%. Okay? 2, fuel, mafuta. Angalia what's happening in Malawi. Just check. Tumetoka hapo. Hayo ni mambo ambayo serikali ya Kenya imefanya, imetoka. So, nimeona watu wakiambia watu look, Malawi wamefanya one term, we have to do it here. Those are two sides of the coin. So mahali tumetoka, mwezi tuambia turudi huko. That's a fact. Number one, tukija kwa mambo ambayo ulikuwa unaongelea, I think mimi msimamo wangu kama Simba, msimamo wangu ni two-term.
Okay.
So rais anafanya what is supposed to be doing, kuleta watu wa Kenya wote pamoja, viongozi wote pamoja, kwa sababu nchi ya Kenya ni muhimu, and that's what he has done, and he is doing it. Kalanzo Kalanzo is one of the worst leaders wenye tuko nao katika nchi hii. Kenyans made a decision in 2008. He overturned that decision himself. And you know what he did? Na alisema alipita katikati. That image haitawahi toka kwa Kalanzo. It's just like a tale that amesaliwa akiwa na mkia. Hiyo mkia unless aiondoe ndio aitwe kitu tofauti kuliko ile yenye alisaliwa nayo. To Kalanzo, and if Kenyans na United Oppositions wanafikiria Kalanzo ndiye anaweza kuwa the best bet, waende back to the history na wasome historia ya 2008. Kwa sababu kama nchi, Kenyans made a very big decision that time.
Okay.
So hata akisema kwamba anatumiwa sijui clergy, Kalanzo hata akitumiwa Bob hawezi change.
Okay, thank you. So go ahead.
Mambo ya Kapenguria, unajua once hata Simba mwenyewe ama chui ama fisi akiwa na njaa, hata kama ni mtoto wake, hata atakula na atasema huyu alinuka kama mbuzi. So Gachagua ni kama mtoto, saizi ataitwa anything akuliwe. Hiyo ni siasa. I don't image destruction in politics sio eti ni makosa. Hao watu wako kazi. Yes.
Okay.
So
okay, go ahead. Kama hujamaliza.
Nafikiria nitasimamia hapo. Na Joseph, mimi sitishi mtu yeyote kwa comment section. Mimi ni Simba, mimi ndiye huyu niko hapa. My facts are there, na sio eti ni siri. Yenye ninasema just angalia na uangalie ni mahali wapi ambapo nimedanganya. Kuja for a rebuttal, niko hapa. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, my brother. And maybe just to follow up, especially you've given us a chronology or a little brief of Kalonzo history, but I want to know your political correctness, because if you look at all the political leaders, each of one of them have a history. When you talk about betrayal, we cannot only say that Kalonzo is the one who has betrayed especially the big occasion of what you mentioned. Each and every politicians that are now in that league, they have their betrayals amongst themselves. Because if to say, to be kind enough, when you're talking about even right now the good friendship with President William Ruto and Gachagua, it was a very good friendship. There was that one with Raila, and so the politics has always been like that. So where do we draw the political correctness, especially if somebody decides that, okay, I'm not going to work with you? That is one. Or secondly, as a country or as a democracy that we are talking about, when should we consider the unity for purpose and forget about accountabilities and what the constitution really provides us?
Brother Ben, Kenya iko
Yeah.
na historia kubwa sana na
Mhm.
mimi nimesema mahali
Mhm.
tuko na historia yetu mbaya
Mhm.
siku za nyuma. Hapa
Yeah.
penye tuko, I think tuko kwa take off. This is the place where we have to unite.
Mhm.
Ndio sababu nikaleta mfano wa Malawi na nchi
Mhm.
zingine katika Afrika. So Kenya mahali ambapo tuko with our democracy, we have to take off. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Skyscrapers ambazo saizi zinatokea katika anga za nchi yetu ya Kenya, sio eti ni fitina, sio chuki. Wakati unasema hiyo ndio kitu ya kwanza ukiingia kwa uongozi utasimamisha. Yaani hata ukiitwa sura mbaya kuna nini?
Hamna.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Miguda, I want also to know your take on this, especially when you look at our political terrain on how the goalposts, or do I call it the transfer windows of politic transfer window, how it usually happens, especially when you look back in 2022 and where we are right now, whereby the arch rivals who were opposite sides, today they are on one side. And when they're on one side, as we have with our followers, especially, we believe that there's one that is correct and one that is not correct. So that is what we call the political correctness. And I want you to give your thought, especially if you're putting in the political transfer windows that usually happens, or the signing of political that usually happens immediately after election or immediately after the High Court ruling, because this is not the very first time we are experiencing this. We experienced it with the administration of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. We experienced it with the administration of former President Moi, and you have the history. So how do you maybe you can put it in a way that somebody would understand it?
The politics of the country sometimes is very much complicated. But what I want to say is that, like other Kenyans, for instance, some of us worked with Mwai Kibaki and also worked with Uhuru Kenyatta. And remember, we never voted for them. But because they're the president, we embrace them and actually work with them. And even Ruto, we never voted for him, but we are currently working with him as the president. That one must be understood. So even if you vote for Ruto and maybe you are dissatisfied with the leadership, but you must work. That's the president. That one must be understood, because that's why we don't care who is the president. That's from my area, because we have worked with presidents who are not the ones we elected, and we paid allegiance to them. And that's how it should be. So I just want to focus on one issue on what Ruto said about Kalonzo Musyoka misleading the combination, because to me, it's like politics. Because when we talk about the equality, whereby people should have resources equally in the country without discrimination, that whether I voted for Ruto or not, whether I'm in broad-based government or not, I should have. Ruto statements to me is just political statement, because is trying to lure the Ukambani people that for us to come here to work for you, you must be the government. You must be in the broad-based government. But the person who has failed you not to be in the broad is Kalanzo. Talk Kalanzo so that we can come to your area. I just want to give it a similar statement. You know, when Gachagua was the deputy president, it's the same thing. Gachagua said that shareholding, whereby let us the people who voted for government to get development first, then you other people will get it later. That's the same thing Ray is saying today, that for you to get development, you must be in the government. So that's why I'm telling you, these things are just, that's why even Gachagua was talking about shareholding. It's the same thing, but now Ray is speaking it in a manner that he has concealed. You cannot see it through. Like Gachagua was very much open. Even the issue of tribalism, you understand the way Ruto has concealed. So I can just say, when we talk about equality, I don't need to vote for you for me to get development. And that's why I brought the issue of Kibaki and the Uhuru. Because in Kibaki was a bit liberal, because Kibaki, in terms of free education, it was equal across the country. But when Uhuru came to power, I have one issue here. When Uhuru was doing Mau Mau roads, he focused on the central province, former central province. That's a fact. And even right now, Ruto has focused on Nyanza, let me say so. That's what is on the standard newspapers and many platforms. So when Ruto focus on Nyanza, then Ruto is unequally distributing resources. But when Uhuru was focusing on the Mau Mau roads, Uhuru was equally distributing resources. Then lastly, the issue here is when Ruto was with Gachagua said that, and no, Malimu, the Nyeri governor, said that you should complete the projects which were in place when Uhuru left office, then you can start new projects later. You know, by completing the projects he was going to complete those projects, those Mau Mau roads. So it means that the part of the country was going to stack. So you see, so like I can just say it is not an offense. What we have to understand, we are diverse in the country and we are competing for the few resources. So each and every region is competing for those resources. What Laban said when he was talking about that issue of hell, ya kwamba the resources are centralized and people. So when people are competing for these resources, you find out that it's up to you people to know how you will get your resources for your people. So when Gachagua and Uhuru were doing it for their people, instead of doing it for the national lead, the president, the head of state, they were doing it for the few resources. They were competing for their people. Right now, you find the ODM people are also trying so hard to convince their people that actually the government is good, because if you are inside those few, so that's what Ruto was telling Ukambani people, that this thing is very simple. You cannot just say it because the president. You can't just say it out, because you understand that there are things that you can't speak when you're the head of state, because you have to be very careful on what you're saying because of the nature of our country. So he was saying, you people, for us to bring for you these things, come to government. And I want to conclude by saying, it is clear in the constitution, whatever in the paper is very good, very nice, but also you must have the reality part of it. Like what we said in the making process, that budget should be made in parliament. Parliament makes budget, and we have the budget committee in parliament. But the reality is, the proposals are coming from the president, from the state house. So if the proposals are coming from the president, from the state house, what do? Do you go to parliament to look for budget? That's why you find some people going to state house. Not that because it is unconstitutional or not proper, but also other than the constitution, there is a reality part of it in politics.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Miguda. Maybe to be brief, because when the issue of budgets usually comes, people have different views or different thoughts, especially on how they say that the budget making processes. And you've also said maybe that's why somebody goes to the state house because that's where it generates. Because actually, what usually happens, that is something that we have to agree. The parliament cannot. The parliament will work on the proposal that the administration and the executive has brought to them, because executive is the person who is in charge. He has his priority as an executive because he's the person that he had been given the mandate to lead the country. But the proposals that he is making shall be or will be confirmed by the parliament, right? Oh, me good left. Maybe if he comes, I will. So that one could also give us a picture why people visit the state house, and also why the president will tell you that, okay, you have to do this for me to get this, because like I have the proposals, I know where to allocate this money, after being voted in parliament. Okay, we will talk about that. Joseph, maybe you can also tell us, especially your thoughts, especially when president says or alludes that the Kalanzo has been misleading, or Kalanzo is misleading the Ukambani residents. But remember, the same residents that we are saying that the president is saying that he has been misleading, these are the same support that he has always given to the Right Honorable Prime Minister almost 3 times in 15 years. So at what point do they, especially at what point does the Kalonzo lose that relevancy and mislead his constituents?
Thank you, Brother Benson, for the question. And I want to start it off by, I heard Miguda saying that Uhuru did projects for his own region and did not do projects for the other region. So I got I got shocked because the last year of Uhuru, I think they were doing projects in Nyanza region of more than they were. I think even Uhuru did not visit Central region. If he visited Central region, he just went for something called Saganawan, and he even left. He did not even visit the. I think even Uhuru has never visited Central region since 2019. I don't think he has ever gone there, and we can clearly see when he created the infrastructure like Mamboreo roads, or the Mamboleo roads were created by who? It's good when we come here, we don't just put statements out and say somebody did, somebody did not. It focused on one place and did not focus on the other place. Because I also saw Lamu port that was built, and the road from Lamu to Garissa was being built. So when we come here, let us not just put statement that somebody did this for the community, because if we say that, we'll say everybody did it for the community. Even Moi was there for 24 years. We just say he did it for his community, and we just say Ruto is also doing the same, because there's no day you come and as a president and tell me, and it's good even if the other ones did for their community what they are saying. They never spoke it out. You are a president, you are coming telling people that because they're not in government, they are not in right to get development. That is a shame. It's a shame on him. How can you come and tell me because I did not vote for you that one is the one which is making me not to receive developments from everything? Why? When you come and hear certain comments about why people want to go to state house, why do we need to go to state house? We already have county governments. Why were we creating county governments? Why do we need to pay these people officers? Then we send them home, all of us, all of them. We'll be sending MPs to state house. No need for them to be going. No need for us to have a governor. No need for us to have this county executive. What is their work? If their work is for going to state house, then we can just tell them to leave, and we just have MPs who are going to go to the back system, the one which was there for MPs going to Pali to state house and beg for money from there. if we want to change a country, we need to remove all those funds that are sectorized there and take them to the grassroots. That is how you are going to change a country. You cannot change a country by going to State House every weekend. That one you cannot change. And let me tell you, we are saying that people like Ukambani have not received development because they have not been having somebody who is Kalanzo has been trying to prevent them from getting development. What about Kilifi? When will they get development? What about Lamu? So these people, you expect to say that is a must they'll be in government so that they get development? Please don't try and come bring that sort of talk in, my friend. It is very uncouth for a president to talk about that. Even if the other ones did whatever they did, yes, you cannot continue lying on the past. If the other president did what you did not do, what was not right, why don't you do what is right? If they focused on their region, why don't you show that you can be a diverse president? Show it, because you cannot be dwelling on the past. We did. Setro was done. Let's focus on the other side of history, because I don't know people. People don't realize that Mount Kenya you talk about has how many counties? Do you know it is very diverse? The experiences, even there's no developments. Do you know if you go to Laikipia, Brother Benson, you'll be shocked. There's places in that Mount Kenya you talk about. If you go, you find roads. I think you see in your social media posts where you see roads in Nyandarua, they are not even passable. They cannot even, trucks are always, they are always stuck in mud every time. So I don't understand. When you have a project like that one, which was opening, that like the Mau Mau one, which you have been told, that Mau Mau project was opening 5 counties. And you can use that Mau Mau road to go to Nakuru. And that Mau Mau road also will help you will open up trade routes for those people who are transporting those things that you are calling maybe Waru, because you always say Waru comes from Nyandarua. So it will be easy, it will be cheaper. It will be cheaper for you to get the Waru in Kisumu or Eldoret, because the road has been built. But if we continue in that saying that hatutajenga pahali juu ati mtu ametoka pahali fulani, we cannot even continue with the headway. And it's so unfortunate that a president can stand and say that ati juu Kalonzo hajakuwa akisupport serikali, that's why it's very unfortunate, because I think when you become a president, you're not a president of your community. You're a president of Kenya. That's why they voted out Rigathi Gachagua. Why did they remove him? They could have not removed him if they were not saying he's tribal. They say that he's tribal. He's thinking about his community. Why did they remove him then? If you can come and tell somebody that because he's not supporting your idea, development will not come. It means you are even the bigger tribal person in this system. And obviously, Kenyans, even if you deny this with your heart, you know the person who is tribal, brother. Even if we deny it in our hearts, we already know. Look at the appointments that are being done. You will know the appointments that are always done in these sectors. I'm not saying the other president did right. They also did wrong things. They appointed their communities, but you cannot come here and say just because you're the president now, like you are a saint. You're not a saint. You have been doing the same things that have been happening in the past years. Then I was shocked somebody said that we have skyscrapers. Brother Benson, we don't hit skyscrapers, brother. Skyscrapers will not help us. Skyscraper is a person, is an individual investment. It's not an investment for the country. If you have a skyscraper in Kisumu, it will not be helping somebody who is there in Lamu. But we need economy boosting. That is what we need. We need the economy to be functioning, not about skyscrapers. Even if we have 20 or multiple skyscrapers, they never help us, brother. So when you come and say Malawi is not the same as Kenya, they are dealing with the same problems you are having, Brother Benson. I don't know if you have checked the dollar. Just go and check the dollar and how it is changing. Just go and check the euro, because I've been checking them the other day. Just go and check. If you want to know the country is not heading in the right direction, just go and look at the exchange of money, and you know if the country or the currency is being weakened. And the economy, how is the economy of the country? And I've never heard somebody saying that the economy, the economy, when the economy is good, you don't need a president to come and tell you the economy is good. You need to feel it in your pocket. Your pocket will say the economy is good because you'll be having money in your pocket. Go and tell me somebody who is saying the economy is good in Kenya who has money in the pocket. Let us not lie to ourselves, brother, when we come here. The economy is not doing well. People don't have money in their pocket. When the economy is doing well, we'll be having money. Even the president does not need to come to the national television and tell us that the economy is well. We'll just be feeling it in our pockets.
All right, thank you so much. And maybe to talk to my brother Simba, especially now when we come to the good governance, because we know for a fact that we need to have like a vibrant opposition or a vibrant minority that keeps government on check. So if we, all of us, be part of the government, or all of us, yes, be part of the government, who is going to put the accountability, especially on the government?
Brother Ben,
Yeah.
our Constitution 2010 gave the mandate of opposition and oversight to Parliament. I think we are confusing ourselves. Mambo ya development ambayo tunashinda tukiongelea hapa about the development, we have 14 counties. Development is devolved. Most of the government functions are devolved. Most, the ones that are in the national government. Hizi ndio some of the leaders wanaenda wanashikana wanadistribute equally. So mimi hata nataka Joseph a cool down, kwa sababu these are their bills and they have to swallow slowly bila hata kuwa na hasira. Relax brother. Kenya iko na viongozi, iko na wananchi wake. Wananchi hawana hasira. So mimi nilileta specifics za Malawi and I gave it to you. Just check in the petrol pumps. They have no plan how to get fuel. We have it, and we have fuel in plenty. The inflation, just check the facts vile siku hapo. Sisi tumetoka hapo, ni mahali ambapo tumetoka 2 years ago.
Okay.
So,
let me ask you Simba, before you continue, hapa pali tumetoka ambapo unazungumzia, tumetoka hapo kwa sababu kumekuwa na ushirikiano baina ya Raila Amolo Odinga na Mheshimiwa Rais William Ruto?
No. Kitu yenye ambacho nimesema and I've said it clearly. Tulikuwa na hiyo shida ya Malawi iko nayo ya fuel. Ndio tukaja na government to government program na unapata mafuta ya kutosha. However expensive it is, iko. In Malawi, some of the people wenye niliona wanaojiwa, anaenda anataka mafuta, anawekewa 15 liters, hata kulima utalima na nini? Kwa sababu most of those people are farmers. Watalima aje? Ndio unapata umaskini inaingia. Let's go with the plans that the government has for us. Sisi tuko na mafuta ya kutosha, tuko na mbolea ya kutosha. Food security is not an issue in Kenya. In fact, in Malawi it will be even more worse. Ndio sababu, and brother Ben nisikize, kwa sababu huu ni ukweli ninawaambia. Hatuko in 30 page ya kuulizwa mambo ya economy. Angalia vitu ambazo ni very basic for wananchi. Lakini, and Miguda said one thing. Na it's a fact. Mau Mau Road was done using taxpayers' money, lakini kufanywa in one region. So hiyo ilikuwa ni diversify development. That's why we have Rironi, Mau Summit, Nakuru Road also nayo ifanyike, ndio watu wa Western wapate the same deal. So kuna makosa gani?
I think like somewhere that we usually go wrong is when we are coming to discuss, especially matters to do with national, we tend to politicize them because, like, if I want to know, especially you talked about the constitution, but if you look at it critically, we know for a fact that as much as we say that the accountability has been rested on the legislative, but in that legislative, there are also accountability in it. That says that we have the majority and we have the minority. And when you look at the minority, we have some of the committees that should not be held by the government, because if they're held with the government, they will go unchecked. Things like a public accounts committee, those are committees that should not be held by the government. Now, the question is, if we are out of where we are, especially, and we are headed somewhere, that we find ourselves still, that even after now the ODM and UD Kenya Kwanza coming together, they cannot still leave these positions to those who are the minority so that they can put check on those kind of like committees. So where is the growth there? Or we just talk that maybe the economy is growing, so we don't put so much uh, um, checks on the balances on how the laws work. Maybe Simba, if you can help me understand that, because you brought it up. We lost him.
Brother Ben, umefanya swali lako kuwa kubwa sana, kwa sababu mimi nimesema simply mambo ya checks za government ni National Assembly. Constitutionally hatuna official opposition with the current arrangements.
Yeah.
So we have control of budget, we have ASCC, those are other bodies zenye zinafaa kufanya the same. We don't have issue of opposition, and in fact iko nje ya government. Watu kama akina Kalonzo, Rigathi Gachagua and Eugene Natembea, Matiang'i can do that.
So this is what happens. Maybe you might correct me if I'm wrong, because when you look at the framers of our constitution, especially the constitution that we have today, it was a borrowed constitution, and majority of it was borrowed from the United States Constitution, whereby we have the minority and the majority. The only difference that we have, that we did, that we introduced, that it was not in the US, was about when it comes to Senate, we introduced speaker, which the United States usually doesn't have speaker. They usually have the majority and minority leader. So when you come to the minority leader, or the majority leader, the majority leader will be the party with the majority members of the I mean, like the legislature, the people who have voted the more. Because if you look at even those democracy of America, there was a time when the majority was coming from a party that does not have the executive. So you only have executive, but you do not have the legislative. And in that scenario is whereby you find that if a bill, maybe the executive has brought a bill, or in parliament or in the legislative, they will have to negotiate. Especially you hear something about, like, today we are going to have shutdown. Especially when you get to hear about the shutdown, they will negotiate, because, like, if shutdowns happen, it means that all the federal offices will not be working by a certain period of time. So they have to agree on the minimums, And how do they agree on the minimums? They agree on the minimums on the legislative. So now when you come to our country, especially when you look at our constitution, come to the parliament, it is, that the minority, especially, sometimes minority cannot be the executive, cannot go with the executive, with the presidency or with the executive. The way we know with the election that were just held in 2022, it was not with the Kenya Kwanza, it was with Azimio. Even when you go to the courts, yeah, the courts gave a ruling and the verdict on that, but the members of parliament decided that they're not going to follow that. Yeah. So when we come and ask for accountability and transparency, yeah, is that like we usually say that opposition, which is not there, but there should be within the parliament the checks and balances that put the executive on accountability, if I'm not wrong.
Brother Benson, I can say, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You are just right, and you have said perfectly the way it is in the Constitution. But where I have an issue as a Kenyan. That is what the Constitution said. It's very clear. Whatever you have said, checks and balances, and we have said it here for a long time. But there's a reality part of it. There's a reality in the government. What's happening, and you find out that there are things that are happening contrary to the Constitution. There are things that are happening not in accordance with the Constitution. Those are things that we are trying to point out. Like I've told you, it should be equally distributed, but it is not equally distributed. There should be structured. It should be made the budget making process. But proposals are coming from the State House, and you have seen it happening in this country. Not that it is not happening; it's coming from the State House. It is the president who proposes the budget of the country, but on the paper, it should be the government. So what are we saying here? The Constitution is not being followed to the letter. The Constitution, the way it is, they have abandoned it, and now they are doing it the way they want it to be done. That's why you have issues like you are saying, raising issue like the majority, the minority. They should, people like Junaid should cease being minority way because they are no longer there in terms of the what broad-based arrangement. But now you talk about in parliament, that minority and majority. But as a Kenyan people, we focus on the opposition. Have you seen that one? Because the constitution is very clear. The majority party, a minority, the structure in government. That's why even in that parliament, there is no opposition. We have minority, and minority have reserved seats, and also minority have reserved committee. A minority, they have a duty to do in parliament constitutionally, unlike what we are doing outside as the people. But you understand our system right now, we don't understand the constitution of our republic. We don't understand the system we are dealing with. We understand the system of Moi, the repeal constitution. And that's why we have seen people saying, wale wapinzani wangu. He has focused on the opposition outside the constitution. So it's like we are operating with a different system, but we have a system in place, the 2010 constitution. But as we are dealing with the quite different, that's why you find out that even issues like extrajudicial killings, abductions, those are things that are contrary to the human rights. And you understand in our constitution, we have the Bill of Rights, which is one of the fundamental freedoms and rights are reserved. But you end up getting a police officer abducting, not even abducting a Kenyan, taking a Kenyan, arresting, then end up killing a Kenyan. Then it's like business as usual. Because people tend to believe that it is not the constitution, it is the system. And that's why we say there should be civic education to Kenyans and even to the officers and even to the government officers. There should be rolled civic education. It should be practical. So when you tend to bring the conversation and you rely on the constitution the way you have mentioned the constitution, those provisions, the Senate, the National Assembly. And when you want to now connect it with our governance today, I think you are going to miss it out. You are going to miss it out because it is not the reality. The reality is there are some provisions which are not being followed to the latter, and that's why the issue of accountability is not being realized in Kenya. And that's why when you look at most of the proposal from the National Assembly or anybody, you see they are unconstitutional. If you go to court will just say unconstitutional. There is this, court is loud in this country. Like any proposal, like even what the tax force, unconstitutional. Even whatever Ruto is bringing to the board, unconstitutional. The budget making process, unconstitutional, because we have two structures here. We have the Constitution of Kenya 2010, which is being safeguarded by the judiciary, and we have also a government system of Moi, or not of Moi, from Kenyatta. Let me not use Moi and Kenyatta because they also funny. We have a colonial structure in Kenya, which was put in place in 1963 by the colonial masters, or even prior, the 1940s, 1930s, I think from 1921, let me say, that structure, which was put in place whereby the structure and the corporal punishment, all those things, it came along with us up to 2010. Is now this 2010 constitution it's not being implemented because look at the people in the governance. All of them were used to that foundation of colonial era. So we have the colonial era foundation and we have the constitutional foundation. So we, the people, are fighting so hard to implement this Bill of Rights. But the people who are in those structures, like the DIG, you know, the DG, the IG, the DIG, look at their age. Look at them. Look at the system they were trained. Look at people like Charles Owino, the police spokesperson, former. Look at his age. Look at the structure where he was initiated. And look at 2010. 2010 is just 15, I think it is 15 years down the line. It is a new era. Yeah, so we have a new era, and also we have an old era. So transforming, that's why if you set the US
Did I lose my good? Joseph?
Yes, Brother Benson, thank you. Yeah, sorry, I don't be good. Miguda had a very good point of view, and I was liking it as I was hearing it from here. All what Miguda has told you is what is happening in this country. We have old guards versus new people who want to change the country. The old guards, just check out the president. He refused. He was the one who was campaigning against the constitution. So how do you expect him to safeguard the constitution, the same constitution that he was fighting against in 2010? So what is happening? We have people who worked in a certain system, which was the old constitution system, trying to implement the new constitution. How will that work? Because if you worked in a certain system that was telling you that people should be treated in a certain way, and then the constitution comes and tell you should treat them in an exact certain way, how will you be able to implement that? That's why you see even the police, they act in a very uncouth manner because they are still embracing the system that was there back. If you go and tell the police in Kenya, why are you arresting me, or what have I done so that I can warrant for this arrest? What do you think they are going to do to you, Brother Benson? Before even you ask them that question, you are going to be in the back of a Land Cruiser or that Mariam way before even you ask them why they want to arrest you. So I think we are dealing with old guards who are trying to protect their their own system against new players who are coming in. And that's why you can see that there is a war between the old people, the new generation and the old one. It can never be the same again because the new generation is woke, and they know what they want in their lives, and they know what they want to achieve. And that's why you see there's a difference in even the thinking. When you hear like let's take for example Nepal, an example of Nepal.
Yeah.
Do you know Nepal burnt because of all those old gods? That is what happened. Even Bangladesh, if you go and check that lady, she has been there for, I don't know, almost 20 years. So the young people, they want to change their countries. They are seeing where the trajectory of the country is heading. When I come here, I feel very shocked when I hear somebody saying that he's supporting this regime, knowing very well that people died when they were trying to talk on things, that certain things that were touching their lives, that it was taxation that made people to get killed and get shot in. Just is it 1 year ago? It's not even it is just 1 year ago. People got shot because of going to voice their voice and saying no, we don't want this tax regime that is taxing us. So I feel a certain grief in my heart, knowing that maybe we might give this guy another opportunity, or he might get another opportunity, and that one will be the second one, which will be in this last term. What do you think he will do? Because if he has done this in his first term, and I think when you are going to run for a second term, you're supposed to be angalau unaangalia wananchi kidogo, unawapatia piti kidogo, alafu unaangalia mambo. But now, what do you expect in the second term if this was the first term? Already kids have died. You cannot go and tell the one parent of those kids that mambo yote iko sawa and we can continue as a community, as a nation. That's why you are hearing people saying that they can be compensated. How can you compensate somebody's life? How? Where have you ever heard that? That's why you see some of them, they are angry. So that thing I've brought it together is because Miguda was hitting the point. We have old guards who are trying to protect their system and they are trying to protect their wealth, but it will not happen in this country. It is changing. The way Laban is saying it is changing, but it's not changing the way he's saying. The country is changing for those guys who are there. I only want to feel the heat. That's why you see when there was all this maandamano, they were feeling the heat. They just came together to a certain corner to protect their own interest. So they are feeling it. And let me say one thing. A country is not built on you coming and telling us certain things. That a country is not built on you coming and telling us the political side of it. If you are a president, politics is okay, but you need first to do the economy and the development part of it, so that you can be able to come and tell us about the politics part of it. But now you are starting in the politics part, then telling us you are going to come and do the economic and development part. And I'm not angry, as I was told. Me, I'm not angry. I'm saying it as easy as it can be. I'm very easy. If I'm angry, you usually know, Brother Benson, when I'm angry. I'm not angry. I'm easy. And that's why I ask clearly. Just go and ask somebody in Nairobi CBD if their pocket is doing well. If they tell you it's doing well, just know we are heading in the right direction. I was just checking about statistics of economics. Some Laban came and brought us statistics here about, I don't know, GDP. I was checking GDP in 2005. Our GDP was how much, Brother Benson?
How
It
much
was
was it?
around 8.7. Our GDP right now is how much? 4 point something. Is it 4.7 or 4.5? So how can we say we are growing and we are going backwards? If 2005 we were 5.7, I was expecting us to be 8. We are 4. So what are we growing? I don't understand what growth we are doing. I don't understand the growth. So it's okay. Maybe somebody can be seeing it in his eyes, but as we have been told to follow the statistics, I've just followed one statistic. Just go and look at the GDP per capita in 2005 and the GDP per capita in 2025. Those are 20 years apart. Just go and check and it will tell you the truth.
Okay, thank you so much for that, and we will be looking into it. Maybe Simba, if you can assist us to understand, because like why do you see that there is this quite much resistance, especially from some quarters who are not aligned to the president way of managing the country or the way of running the country?
Brother Ben, kwanza
Yes.
kabisa nataka uelewe kwamba Rigathi Gachagua, leader of DCP, alikuwa dio. Hapo
Yes.
kwanza mjue hivyo. Wakati mnaongelea about colonial powers and masters, he was one of them. Number two, after being a dio, anajiita mtoto wa Mau Mau. So that's a leader. Na ujue mahali atatuelekeza going forward. Kwa sababu if that is the direction yenye tutaface mambo kutoka, sijui kama tunaenda wapi. Number two, Kibaki akiwa rais, Michuki akiwa minister of interior, figures ziko, vijana ni wangapi waliwawa? Kwa sababu Joseph anasema it is a year ago. Kibaki akiwa rais, Michuki akiwa rais, Michuki akiwa interior minister, numbers ziko. Kwa sababu hiyo nayo sio siri, and I think hapo ndio rebellion ingekuwa, kwa sababu hata kwanza hiyo ilikuwa ni one tribe ambayo ilikuwa criminalized. Sijui hapo human rights haziko, sijui hiyo hawakuwa vijana. Sasa hao wengine ndio vijana zaidi kuliko ya hao. Binadamu ni binadamu. Hiyo ndio kitu moja Joseph, mimi nitakwambia. Mungiki waliwawa over 700 youths in Mount Kenya peke yake. Wakati huo hakukuwa na maandamano. It was silent. So mimi nataka niwaambie kwamba kitu cha kwanza, hii rebellion yenye tunaona saa hii ni wakati watu wamekuja kurealize kwamba hii kitu tulipeana sisi wenyewe na hakuna kitu tunapata. That's where hate has been built around. Hakuna kitu ingine.
So okay, go ahead.
And for one, hatuwezi kuwa na regime change kwa first term. Tunakuanga na regime change in second term. Hiyo ni wakati huo, lakini si sasa ambapo ni 2032 uko mbele.
Why do you say that yet our constitution has given us the provision that we have to hold our election after every 5 years, and by having those elections, it means the race is open to any Kenyan who can become a leader. It is not a must that somebody has to do 2 terms.
Brother Ben, na hiyo constitution pia imetupatia a bracket kwamba not more than 2 terms. Kumbuka hivyo.
Yes. But do you know why I'm saying that, my brother? And this is how I want to explain to you. It is right, especially when you say that it is 2 term. If President William Ruto wants to go for 2 term, there's nothing wrong with President William Ruto going for 2 terms, because the people have been given the mandate for him. If he works for the people of Kenya and lead well, the people of Kenya has the will to vote him back. That is true. And that's why I was telling you the constitutions allow for 2 term, and 1 term too is allowed. And if you look at it this way, if it was that it should be a 2 term consecutively, there could be no need for you even to go to the IEBC to qualify you to run for the presidency, because we've always seen even those who are incumbent president in Kenya, they still have to go and bring their certificates to IEBC to give them the signal to run. So it is okay, but
Brother
like,
Ben,
I don't think that,
Brother Ben, hapa unaongea ni ukweli.
Yeah.
Hapa unaongea ni ukweli. Lakini nimesema kwamba the same constitution imepeana a bracket of not more than 2 terms. Kwa nini walisema it's not more than 2 terms?
So which means for you, if it is not more than 2 terms, which means it is this way I might interpret it myself. I'm not I do not have a legal mind, but this is, if it is not more than 2 terms, so which means you can only go for 2 terms. You can not go more than 2 terms. That is one. And these 2 terms, they don't run concurrently. You can go for the first 5 years, and if the people feel like you've done a good job, they can re-elect you. If they don't, you can come back, reorganize yourself, come back and again ask for mandate from the people. Then you can finish the next 5 terms. That's how it is. That's how I think. Or Joseph, what do you say about that?
Yeah, it's all about that. There's nothing else. So when you cannot be, you cannot say that you go for 2 terms because the constitution is saying that you are mandated to go for 2 terms. It is the people of Kenya who are going to give you that another term, if they want to give you. If they say you have failed as a president, they are going to deny you that chance at the ballot, and there is nothing you'll do. You just go home, because I think in Kenya we are not like the same country which is neighboring us, that you are going to funga all the political parties and jail all the people. In Kenya we have a democracy, where you can be able to go and vote for any candidate you want. And if you are saying that you are going for 2 terms, then why do we need to go for campaigns this year? That's why we are going for campaigns, because you need to go for elections as a president. The only thing that you have is you have a upper hand because you are the president at that time. You can use resources, you can use government resources, but for other things is the same playing field. You need to look for votes. That's why you see him going to Ukambani and saying those kind of things he was saying yesterday. And then as I continue, I want to tell Laban. Laban talked about 2005 Kikuyu being killed. It was not Kikuyu. It was a militia who had started to terrorize Kikuyus. That's why you'd never have them talking about that. It was a militia. And if you have a militia, it needs to be crushed down. I cannot be having somebody who is killing me and I continue saying that because he's my fellow Kikuyu man, that inaendelea support. No, I want the government to work on them. Seriously, deal with them. If they want to be killed, if they are trying to fight with the government, some people will be killed. But now this one for 2004, it was not about a militia. It was people who are saying, we don't want the taxes you are bringing to us. Which militia was there? Was Gen Z a militia? Were they using guns? Were they using crude weapons like machete? In 2005, they were using machete against us. You know, you never witnessed that. Me, I witnessed it because I was near it. So that's why they were killed, because they want to fight the government with certain weapons, and they want to declare themselves that they have a certain region that the government cannot penetrate. I think that one is happening also in all major sectors. Why are we fighting Al-Shabaab then? We could have said because they are children of God, we don't kill them. So that is something that is happening, brother. But for 2004, you cannot come and kill somebody's son because you said you are taxing a diaper or you are taxing a pad. You go and kill a girl because you said that you want to tax a sanitary pad. What is that? That is very demonic and satanic. I can never support anything like that. If you want to kill people because you're saying you are trying to tax bread and milk, that is very different times, my brother. You need to check it. It's very different. You cannot compare 2005 Mungiki killing and 2020 and 2024. It's very different. So about the president, he needs to go for campaign, and if he is not going to be able to convince his people, he's going to be removed, as we have seen in Malawi. Everything is happening for a reason. You don't know why it is happening for a reason. Even there in Nepal, just the other day, a prime minister was just removed. So we are living in very sensitive times, where even a president can go for 2 terms, not like the other times you were expecting a president can be able to go for the terms very easily. Then the constitution also, we have a constitution that is very direct. It's not like the one we had before. It is telling you what is supposed to happen, even if you don't want. Brother Benson, do you know the constitution says even if you don't want to go and hand over power will still be handed over even if you don't appear as a incumbent to hand over power, it will still be handed over. So we are living in certain times that you cannot. If you are living in the olden times, brother, change. It is we are living in new times. The constitution has changed everything in Kenya. That is what it has done.
Okay, before we wind up, let me just maybe to give my brother, because I know you are a very strong member of ODM, and now they are celebrating their 20 years. Today they were in Wajir, and for a period of some time now, there's that um, deficit. Would I call it the popularity? According to TIFA, it said that the popularity of the party might be going down. We are also seeing the war between Oparanya and Baraza. So at 20, what are some of the may say, like, some of the areas of weakness that maybe it's going to be strengthened as ODM celebrate the 20 years, or chama iko imara?
Ben, wakati una celebrate your achievements.
Sasa
Hiyo ndio
achievement
kitu nitakuambia.
achievement ni gani na mlijoin gava?
Wakati una celebrate something, hauwezi celebrate kitu yenye hauna. Una celebrate kitu yenye uko nayo. And I think 20 is a good number. So mimi sitaki kusema zaidi ya hayo. Kuna wenye watasema.
Okay, thank you so much. But like to be very sincere, when you look at the political terrain, as you said, 20 is not a small number, especially to run a political party. And ODM, really, they've tried despite the challenges that they've had in the political terrain, and maintaining the popularity of the party. It is not very easy, because look at even how some of the political party have changed their name, including even Wiper. Wiper had to change their name. I don't know what informed them to change their name. I don't know, but maybe they have a reason for it. Let me bring in Joseph. Joseph, I know you are not a member of ODM, but they're celebrating 20 years, especially a 20 year with a political party in Kenyan politics. That is not a joke.
Yeah, and I appreciate ODM. You know me, I like to talk broadly and frankly. ODM has been a party to reckon with, because they have really stayed. Other political parties, brother, they have come and died. Even the one Kibaki ran on, called PNU, it got broken, parts zikapotea, spare wheel ikapotea, jack ikasikia ikaenda sijui part gani. We had so many parties, even Akina Safina, the likes of Akina Jubilee, all of them. So ODM has really stood their ground. But I think also why ODM has stood their ground, Brother Benson, is because of one thing. We have never gotten the candidacy of the presidency. I think if they got the president, I think if Raila got the president, I think ODM will still not be there, because ODM is still standing strong because they have been fighting the battle of opposition. When you are fighting the battle of opposition, you will be very strong. You'll be very strong in the endeavors. Because also if you check, also parties like Ford Kenya, they have been there. Ford Kenya also is because the members shifted and went to ODM. It was still very strong, But I think for ODM now, it is in his last days now, because it's either they join the government, and Raila has said he's not going to run for elections in 2027. So that one, I think that one is either Ruto to run with ODM or ODM to be swallowed by UDA. So I think also that one will be. I think this is a time which will be very tricky for ODM. We'll see it in the by-elections. Truly, the by-elections are going to tell us everything we need to know about ODM. And
but maybe
because I saw also Malava, you saw the Malava candidate, Brother Benson of UDA has won. That one is called. I've seen the name. So he's going to run against a candidate who is in the united opposition. So we are going to see how it's going to pan out. But I think this one will be after the by-election is where now it will be reckoned. We see who has the might. Because
Okay.
after that I know now things are going to get hot. Bado hatujaingia kwa hot. After by-election sasa ndio tutaingia kwa hotness. Kuanzia hiyo December hiyo mambo itakuwa thick because also we'll be remaining only 1 year. We'll be remaining only 1 year by the way. Sitakuwa 2026. Yeah. It's like 1 year. Let's say 1 year and some 5 months. After maybe January we'll be remaining 1 year, 5 months. We go
Okay.
for the election. So
Okay,
I
thank
think
you.
that is what will happen. But ODM has been a larger party. By the way, they have stuck. They have stuck their ground, and I recommend them for that. They have stuck their ground, and they have been a party to reckon with for the 20 years they have been in power. They have
Okay,
been.
thank you so much. We also saw the handover of Safina Party to businessman Jimmy Wanjigi. So we are also will be watching and looking at what changes are they going to make in the political sphere. If they are going to run, will they really manage to run as independent without having coalition, or they're going to have coalition? We also saw Boniface Mwangi with his political party. The other time he was asking Kenyans to fund his political party. So there's still a lot to be said, but I know tomorrow also we will have a chance in the evening. Today, not look at myself, today in the evening, we will have a chance with Marco Bura to come and host. So if you find time, you can join him to have a discussion. And that is for us this morning. We will see you again, especially the same time on the weekends. For me, Monday morning, Sunday morning and Saturday morning. Mr. Joseph, you have something to say?
Yes, I've seen President William has gone for the UNGA 80th anniversary. I think they have an 80th anniversary now.
Yeah,
So they have gone, and I'm going to be checking on it because there's so many issues that are going to be discussed there. There's so many issues I'm going to be checking on them in the world front, because also is where Palestine is going to be created as a state. So we are going to be checking that keenly. They are going to make Palestine a state. So that one will be checked keenly. Yeah?
And that one is going to affect on how they relate now with Israel.
Yeah, it is. That's why I want to see it. And even US, they denied the person, we can say the president of Palestine. They denied him visa. Abbas. Abbas was denied entry to US. So he's going to be talking to people through the video. They voted just the other day. They voted for him to talk to people through the video cam. So I'm going to be checking. It is good we be checking. We see what will happen, because those ones, what is affecting. People don't understand. I heard Misiani coming saying here that we have G2G. What we don't understand is that if that state is built and the war start to intensify here as it is intensifying, oil will shoot up. And that G2G, that G2G we are doing, it is government who is asking oil on loan. That is what they are doing. I've read it right now. It is government asking oil from the Middle East countries on loan. And if it is going to be, if the war is going to affect, like the other day I told you they threw something here. The oil plummeted. So imagine a full-scale war. And it is not only there. We are checking at a full-scale war in Poland and Russia. And if you are a historian, how the World War II started. I think if you are an historian, you know how the Second World War started. It started with Germany invading Poland. So it's like history is repeating itself all over again, because I've seen the drills that are being done by Russia in Poland airspace, and Poland are very angry. I think even the president is there. Poland president is in US right now. So I think those are things we need to also check as we are checking on Kenya.
We will check for that, and I'm also looking forward. Just like I was trying to have a conversation with some of the aspirants, especially from Kasipul Kabondo, but luck is not still on our way, but hopefully before they go for their election, we will have a conversation with one of them. Hopefully, we are also
Yes, you need to
trying
bring candidates for Kasipul and tell them I like Kasipul. Come on.
Kasipul Kabondo. Actually,
I like it so much.
Kasipul Kabondo, I think one thing that I will do, especially I need somebody from Kasipul Kabondo, especially to talk about it because when you're looking at Kasipul Kabondo, especially you look at the Gladys Wanga. This is a win candidate for her. She has to win it, and she
For
has
who? For Gladys Wanga?
yeah.
And will you see like if she'll win? I don't know politics, so I don't like talking about something I don't know too much. But do you see like it is going to happen for Kasipul?
It it I still have I believe that the son to the deceased can win not because he's popular, but first he can win because of the party. That the weight that comes with the party, because party has a grassroots, and his two competitors too have been in the ODM for quite some time. If you look at Aroko, I think he was number 2 in the last general election, but now he has decided to go independent. And I know the politics that is going to take place, it's going to be Raila versus them, you know. And that can be a narrative that is not going to be very easy for Aroko to win. When now they take the candidate out of the way, now it becomes that if you this is going to be a Raila. We want Raila,
And the brother Benson, what is the name of the son of Gondowere? Is that what your name?
yeah, it's called Boy Duere.
Oh, Boy Duere. So he's running against you have named him just now. His name is that guy you are naming now.
Yeah,
Because I hear he's very popular
yeah,
in that area. What name have you given him? I remember the name. It is
Philip Aroko.
yeah, Philip Aroko. Yeah, the Aroko. I remember. I'm hearing about him. The people are saying that he's very popular. I think he was the contestant last time.
He was contested, but I think also they were great competitors with the deceased. Like that rivalry was amongst themselves. But this is something that I will do one time, especially to look at Gladys Wanga, because this boy was her candidate immediately, even when the father was not laid to rest. Yeah, she started campaigning for this boy way much the very moment maybe the father was confirmed dead. In her
But
mind,
how do you see the governorship? Because the governor also is going to have influence in the election in Homa Bay.
yeah,
Maybe the things that she has done, maybe has she done very good things that the citizens are happy about, or the citizens are angry? Even also the governor can make a candidate fail.
and that is now, I think the by-election in Kasipul is going to give or answer so many questions about the governor, to answer so many questions about the ODM, 3 it also going to answer so many questions about the political terrain or the political waters of that area, because these especially the Homa Bay is one of those areas that the politics has always been very violent politics. So we are going to monitor this one also, and to see whether it is going to be very peaceful or it is going to be very violent. When you look at Homa Bay, Migori, the kind of politics that is being played over there. It is more of so much violence. You see, like people losing their lives for no good reason. So those
And
are
it's,
some of the
it's such
things
a
that,
shame because politics should not make one lose his life, his or her life because of politics. It's very
yeah,
bad. I feel very bad when somebody loses his life because of politics.
And you come to realize that, remember, the somebody who's losing their life is the people that you want to represent. So why would you fight? Why, you know? So
But what I know clearly, Brother Benson,
Mhm.
in Embu, the governor will not influence anything. In Embu, the governor already is fighting her own battle. I think. I think even is
and
not going to be able to campaign for this
you,
kind because she's fighting her own her own battles with the so-called Mukunji. So I
live
think
about
it will be very difficult.
live about Mukunji. I can remember very well. There was a time she was complaining about the deputy president. "Yeah, you cannot come here and lecture us." You remember those days? Those people those who went to the state house without and all that, and he said
Mm.
that, you know. And I was also reading somewhere, I don't know how true is it, that she also has her favorite, not even supporting the UDA candidate. So I said, like, that one is sitting awkward with, very, very much awkward with her. That is not right, especially as the chairperson of the uh, a party that is in
UDA.
competition. You have an aspirant, then you're supporting
Mm.
another aspirant.
Mm.
That is not good. You know, it gives signals that things are not very rosy in the political party.
And that's what I'm telling you. After the by-election, we know what is what. Because it might break some individuals and also it might build some individuals. So we might know after it is in November, no? We are remaining only 1 month. Next month
Yeah,
only. Then we
and
have the by-elections. So I
and
think,
on
also we have it, me, I don't understand. But it is good for representation, but I don't understand why do we have the by-elections and we are remaining 1 year. Then we
what
go
what
for another elections.
what
I
usually
don't
happens.
understand. I think we did wrong to not have an IBC in place.
No, live about that. You find, like, I don't know, especially I think here when there's a, because here, if it is 2 years, um like, maybe I need to check. I was reading something about US, especially when it come to Senate. You know, let's say, if I think what usually, I think, if the vice president was a senator, you are appointed as the vice president and you win as a senator. What As a vice president, you win the ticket, and if you're sitting senator, they will appoint somebody to clear the terms that are remaining. I don't know whether
Yeah.
that one also happens with the um
What even I could suggest, Brother Benson, is when we are remaining maybe 2 years, there is no need for going for a by-election. We just let it be because the representation is good to have representation, but at what cost? US elections, they are cheap. Even when you compare them, the elections will be more cheaper. But ours, you're hearing that you're going for a by-election for 1 billion, Brother Benson. 1 billion to get representatives. You know that figure. I don't know if people understand what is 1 billion. Is you reach 1,999 million so that you have a 1 million so that you reach to 1 billion.
mm,
So it's just for how long? Because it is just
mm,
only 1 year, 2026. He'll be a registrator in 2026, he or she. Because in January,
mm,
January, no, 2027 April or May, the
mm.
bunge itavunjwa,
The bunge is a bunge.
parliament itavunjwa by 2027 maybe May, itavunjwa hata si May, they are going to break. Wataivunja lini? Wanaivunjaga lini? March. It is
Ah,
always inavunjaga mapema.
hata hawa watu kwanza waendaji parliament, ikishafika hapo watakuwa wamewacha
Mm.
kuenda.
So even which registration will you bring for your people for that 1 year? Zitu zingine, but it's okay. It's okay. It's everybody right. It is in the constitution that you're
Yeah,
supposed to have
so
a representative. We cannot
Mr.
argue with the constitution.
Mr. Joseph, I think we'll meet on Friday again and Sunday to discuss our um, we call them the short stories. Tunapitia pitia na tunachukua hii nafasi pia kushukuru Laban na Miguda, they were with us here but they've left. So Joseph, I hope and I believe I'll see you next week. Thank you so much and may God bless you.